Hello everyone and welcome to Siriana Tarot. This is a singles new love reading for Aries. We're going to look at the kind of love you're ready to experience now based on the growth you've already done. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Aries, please. All right, so we have the Nine of Pentacles, Venus and Virgo energy. Your person is also showing up as the Three of Pentacles. Beautiful. They're viewing you as the Knight of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag energy. And the connection, we see the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. All right, and we see the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like this is somebody who has a lot to offer. This is somebody who's single, who's independent. I actually feel they're quite wealthy. I feel like there's a really comfortable lifestyle indicated with this person. Some of my Aries, like if you were to get together with this person or marry them, like you might not have to work, that type of energy. I feel like this is somebody who really values family and commitment. Somebody who may want to have a family or who would very easily, make you feel part of their family. The Nine of Pentacles tells me this person's healthy. Most likely they work out, they take good care of themselves, they feel emotionally balanced, they feel supported. I actually feel for a lot of my Aries, this person comes from a really good family, like a wholesome family or a family of good people. They may come from a better than average background or something like that. Although it doesn't have to be the case. I just feel like they really value family and connection. Feels like they've had a lot of support is what I'm getting. This is somebody who's really compatible with you. I feel like it's just going to be super easy to be with this person, Aries. Like a really balanced, really good person. All right, we see the Fool energy in reverse, so they could have Aries in their chart. But I also feel like this is somebody who knows that they have a lot to offer. They're very discerning about whom they get involved with. And I also think it's really important for them that their friends and their family get along with you. Okay, and not that they can't make decisions for themselves or they're not afraid to, disappoint someone, but they really want a partner that's gonna get along well with their family and their friends. It's gonna be really compatible. All right. I don't know if they come from like a larger family, a larger ethnic family, or just like a tight-knit family is kind of what I'm getting. And so they're not going to just, they want you to be a part of that is what I'm getting, or they want their partner to be a part of that. So they're not going to rush into anything. This person isn't impulsive. This is somebody who's strategic. This is somebody who works hard. This is somebody who's really looking for the one. Okay, and we see the Six of Pentacles energy in reverse. Yeah, so for some of you, this person has been disappointed in love in the past because they've rushed into things, and so they no longer want to do that. Some of you too, this person may be feeling like, I feel like they might be, like a lot of people are surprised that they're still single because they have so much to offer. They're really good looking. They have stability. They probably have a good job. Like I said, they have a lot to offer, but it just feels like they haven't quite found that person that ticks all of their boxes. All right. And how my Aries are going to be feeling the Nine of Wands. So you may be a little bit guarded here. This is the Wounded Warrior energy. So it feels like you've also been, a bit disappointed in love. So you're also going to be very discerning. But you're going to be very attracted to this person, and some of you may feel like there's a sense of familiarity between the two of you because the Nine of Wands certainly can be a past life soulmate connection. All right. Let's see what else we need to know about this person. What else do my Aries need to know about this person, please? All right, so we see short term. So don't let this put you off, okay? Your relationship with this person is not meant to last. They may enjoy being free. Your personal styles may not be complementary. I feel like your person wants to avoid this, But I also feel like you have somebody on your hands, Aries, that's not going to stay in a connection just because it's passionate. They really want somebody that's gonna be able to integrate into their lives, into their family, that has the same values, that wants the same things. So I'm not necessarily seeing that this connection isn't going to last. I just feel like this person may have had a couple of short-term connections because they're decisive. They know what they want, and they haven't fully given up on looking for someone that can, fit that. I think you do fit that energy. Now, some of my Aries, you may have had a short-term connection with this person already, but I feel like that's only like one of you. All right, this person could have Gemini in their chart, ruled by Mercury. They're the thinkers and communicators of the zodiac with many facets. Relaxed. So you're going to feel at ease with this person, who will likely be super approachable. So you two are going to get along really well. Expect witty banter, humor. Okay. And we see Daddy's Girl. Now, my readings are not meant to be gender specific, but some of the cards that I use are. So we see here that your person has a close-knit relationship with their father in particular. Maybe they've followed in their father's footsteps, or they look a lot like their father, or they, again, they work in the family business or something like that. For some of you, this person may have a child from a previous connection, a daughter in particular. And we see business owner. They invest effort and creativity into personal fulfillment and wealth. Okay. Now we see the Three of Pentacles here. So you and this person are very compatible, Aries. Some of you may meet at work, and with that Pisces energy, this person is most likely around you in some capacity. Work, school, the gym, your community. All right, the Three of Pentacles. Why do we have this here? Okay, they're a heartbreaker. Again, I do feel like this person, they may have had a series of short-term connections. I feel like this person is actually quite discerning, and I don't feel like they cut people off, like they're capricious or they're irresponsible with other people's feelings, but they know what they want. And I feel like they're a bit rigid with their deal breakers, right? Like, you have to get along with my friends and family, like, easily. Like, not to say that you can't have your own opinion or personality or anything like that, but I feel like compatibility with the life that they've already created is super important. Okay, and I think they're very sexy. I think they're very attractive. I feel they have a lot to offer. They're successful. So I do feel like this person has probably broken a few hearts. All right, now we see black hair. So this is a really specific message, Aries. That's not for all of you, but it will be confirmation for some of you. All right, we see gym rat. So somebody who likes to work out, somebody who takes good care of themselves. And for some of you, you're going to meet this person at work or somehow through work, which can be, a business meeting. It could be traveling for business. It could be, the place you like to get coffee before you go to work. It could be through coworkers. All right, let's see what else we need to know. All right, so they may have strong earth in their chart. We did get that Venus and Virgo energy, but they could have Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn placements. We see that this person is laid back, they're balanced, they're easygoing. Yeah, but they're definitely not a pushover. Like, I do feel like this person knows when and where to draw the line in the sand. I feel they're very value-driven, value-oriented, they're self-assured, and again, they do know what they want. Okay, and we see for some of you, this person is tall. And at the bottom of the deck, we get average height. So anywhere between average and tall. But again, these are super specific messages that are not going to resonate with all of you, but they will be confirmation for some of my Aries out there. All right, let's go ahead and see what else we need to know. What else? How else will my Aries be able to identify this person, please? Okay, we see they have lost a loved one within the last year. Okay, that could be their father in particular. Okay, we get double confirmation of dark hair. Okay, I believe, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, black hair, dark hair. So for a lot of you, that is a confirmation message. This person may like to wear jewelry. Now, wears more than 2 rings frequently can also be somebody who's been married and divorced. They may have a severe allergy. Okay, this could be to medicine, to food, just during allergy season. And we see communicating their feelings comes very easy for them. So this person is going to be very direct about what they like, they don't like, and I guess what their deal breakers are, what their standards are. And some people may read this as a little bit arrogant, but I actually read it as just somebody who knows what they want. And I don't think that they're rigid in everything, because we see that they're laid back and they're relaxed. But when it comes to a long-term partner, I do think that they definitely have a list. All right. So with the Knight of Wands, they're seeing you as very sexy, very attractive. Some of you might come from different backgrounds. That doesn't seem to be a problem for this person, even if they come from an ethnic background, or they have an ethnic family. Like this person, that's not a deal breaker for them, is what I'm getting. The Knight of Wands tells me they see you as very attractive, very confident. The Ten of Swords. Some of you've had an ending with this person, or you both could have recently experienced some sort of personal loss. So like you get it. Some of you have both been divorced. All right. And we see the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. But this person might be a little bit worried, Aries, that you're not going to emotionally invest in this, either because you're still experiencing some sort of loss or grief, or you've had an ending with this person, which is not for a lot of you, but maybe you had a short-term connection already with this person. But in the Page of Cups energy in reverse is also, I don't think this person lacks trust, but I also think that they don't blindly trust what people say. Like, this is somebody who collects data. This is somebody, and again, I don't think that they're purposely trying to set you up for failure, or they're purposely creating tension and things like that. But I do think that they're discerning. And I don't think that they fully emotionally invest until they really, really have reason to, or they see that, this could be something long term. All right. And we see the Seven of Pentacles, but you're okay with waiting. Seven of Pentacles, you're patient, you're strategic, and you're also okay with waiting, because most likely, my Aries, you also have your deal breakers. You also have your own strategy for dating. And, you're most likely dating for marriage as well. And not looking for somebody that's going to either be too rigid, or somebody who's going to be controlling, or someone who doesn't get along with your friends and family, somebody who doesn't meet you where you are. So again, I feel like I've got two very sort of strong, self-assured people. All right. And you both know what you want. And I think you both also really respect that. Now, what they like about you, Aries, is they see you as the prostitute archetype. Accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So they see you as a survivor, but they also see that you don't change who you are at your core. Your core values always stay intact. All right. And they see you as the visionary. So a capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, and a willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. That's very Aquarius energy, which you may or may not have in your chart. But what I do see here is they love that you're a creative visionary. They love that you can see things differently. You probably open their eyes to different ways of being, different ways of seeing, different ways of interpreting the world. And Messiah energy, serving humanity with humility. So they see you as a good person. They see you as somebody who helps others. And they see you as humble and compassionate, which is absolutely beautiful. All right, so we see the Hanged Man, Pisces energy coming through. So this person, it does feel like they're hanging around you, maybe at work, at home, or in the neighborhood, at the gym, somewhere you like to go. But I also see that there is potential for this connection to up level, okay? And all right, let's see what else we need to know here. All right, through shared work or purpose. This connection enters through a shared responsibility, goal, or collaborative effort. Now that's confirmation there for the Three of Pentacles. Alignment forms as you move towards something meaningful together. So again, you might work together on a project. You might come together through community, through friends, but through some sort of shared goal or purpose, also at the gym, you name it. This connection stretches your ability to give, receive, and hold emotion with greater depth and awareness. Okay. And we see awakening self-worth. This connection reinforces your value through experience, not validation. Okay, absolutely. All right, and at the bottom of the deck here, we see to bring truth to the surface. This connection reveals what has been unspoken or hidden, allowing honesty to create clarity. Okay, beautiful. So honesty, creating clarity, you both being really honest about what you want, what you need in relationships, if this is working, how this is feeling. We do see that this person communicating their feelings comes easy for them, and I feel like it does for you as well, or if it doesn't, it's going to get easier with this relationship. This person values stability and realistic expectations, which I really love that they have realistic expectations. They bring balance to emotional intensity. Yeah, absolutely. Grounded and balanced. I love this energy. All right, Aries, let's go ahead and see what else we need to know here. What else do my Aries need to know here, please? All right, physical connection. So it does feel like, the sacred union of bodies, two becoming one. Your physical connection is going to be really strong, but I also feel like this is an indication. A lot of you meet this person in person, okay, or they're around you in some capacity. Your worth doesn't depend on the other person. And I also feel like that's what's very attractive about you. Like, you already are very self-assured and grounded. You know what you want. You've built your own life. So it's really like you two add value to each other's lives, not like you need this person or they need you. We see divine timing, so Spirit's saying it's going to happen unexpectedly or through some sort of serendipitous event. And we see love language, acts of service, actions speak louder than words. And this is how we really, really build trust. Okay. Final messages, advice, and guidance for my Aries, please. Final messages, advice, and guidance for my Aries, please. All right, so it may be happening this month. I'm doing this reading in March, but it's kind of closer to the end of March, so March, April, and for a lot of you within the next 3 months. All right, my lovely Aries, I'm going to leave it here, sending you love and light. Take care.